Welcome to Politics NY with Sky. Schneps Media is asking each candidate running for New York City office this year 3 questions in 3 minutes. And right now I'm with Eliza Orlins, who's a candidate for Manhattan District Attorney. And before we hear all about her candidacy for Manhattan District Attorney, I know, Eliza, you are on two major television shows, Survivor and The Amazing Race. So I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about that first.
Oh gosh. Well, when I was in college, I went on Survivor and it was, quite an experience. Certainly gave me a fun challenge in terms of living on an island and starving and being miserable, but it didn't change my path at all. At that point, I already knew I wanted to be a public defender, and I proceeded to graduate from college, go to law school, become a public defender. And so I've spent far more of my time in the courtroom, in the trenches, fighting on behalf of New Yorkers than I ever did in front of a camera. But it certainly has been fun to engage people using, some of the platform that I garnered from having been on television, and bring people in who might not otherwise have ever thought about a local Manhattan DA race. And so it's been really, really a great way to reach people for the issues that have always mattered to me.
Right. I agree. And part of the reason why we're doing this 3 questions in 3 minutes interview is to get some of the fun facts or lesser known facts about the candidates. Because as you said, once people learn that side of you, maybe they'll be interested in what you have to offer in a different area of your life. So now tell us about the Manhattan DA race. I know it's a really crowded race. So what is it about you, Eliza, that makes you the best candidate in the race?
Well, I am the only public defender running for Manhattan DA, and that gives me the experience of having been in the trenches fighting on behalf of thousands of people who couldn't afford to hire an attorney for my entire career. I've gone up against the Manhattan DA's office every day of my entire career and really fought on behalf of the people and seen how our criminal legal system operates in a way that is cruel, it's unjust, it's not keeping us safe, it's wasting taxpayer money, and it's over incarcerating and over prosecuting people for low level offenses, predominantly Black and brown people, lower income people, people who are LGBTQIA, people with disabilities. And it's not holding accountable the people who commit serious crimes. And so I realized that we need to make a change to this system. And that's, we're going to best be able to do that from the DA's office. And, as the only public defender, I'm the only one who has both the demonstrated commitment to these issues and also the wherewithal and the knowledge and the experience that comes with over a decade of practicing in the criminal courthouse, and the ability to know the nuances of what it would take to implement these reforms that we all so desperately want to see.
And because it is a crowded field, what would you say is your biggest challenge to winning this race?
It is a very challenging race for Manhattan DA, and most of the people that I'm running against are former prosecutors with decades of prosecutorial experience between them. And most of them are proud of that and say it makes them more qualified than a public defender like me to be the next Manhattan District Attorney. But really, we are at this tipping point in our nation's history. We are coming to this moment where people are being forced to reckon with the systemic racism that exists within our criminal legal system, within policing, within prosecution. And people, I think, are really deeply ready for a change. But the problem is, upsetting the status quo. These are people who have worked with the NYPD their entire careers, as opposed to fighting against police officers, cross-examining police officers, as I have. And this is something that certainly is a huge challenge. I'm so proud of the grassroots support that we've built. I have more individual contributions than anyone in the race, but we are up against people like my opponent, Tali Weinstein, who has millions and millions of dollars that she has raised off of these max out contributions of over $35,000 per individual donor. And she is, taking millions and millions of dollars from Wall Street. And so we're competing with that when we're running a grassroots campaign, the only grassroots campaign, and receiving donations of $5 or $3 or $25 from everyday working people.
Okay, so that was a little bit about Eliza Orlins. Thank you for being part of Schneps Media's 3 questions in 3 minutes. And I'm Sky with Politics NY.